Minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, good morning. It's pretty quiet out there. Look at that. I can't believe it's October. Good morning, good morning. My apologies for all the disruptions and whatever to our streams over the past little while. I think now we're going to be stable for the next little bit. As far as I can see, there shouldn't be any reason for disruptions. Whatever. Touch wood, touch wood. It's been a busy few weeks, and thanks for your patience while we get all these things sorted out and done. We'll chat about some of them as we're doing the work today. Well, again, I'm sorry that there's been so many disruptions. My character is just, don't change, don't change, don't change, whatever. Okay, the work today. I've got a ton of things on my desk, but there's no actual production. Like I did the printing job that I finished. I got it finished before I went away. Actually, they didn't send it out. It's still on my desk for checking, so I could have waited till I got back to finish it, but whatever. Anyway, it's still there. Because of the delay in ability to ship to America, the shipping people are way behind that schedule. So I didn't need to produce them that quickly. We're not taking that as an excuse. Of course, we're trying to keep the production as tight as possible. We're not letting production go because the post office this week, we're trying to keep on it. But those prints didn't need to be sent this week. And there's no carving for me yet. It turns out, we'll talk about it again a bit later. We've got too many carvers at the moment, so it doesn't need me in the carving team. So with no printing and carving job for me right now, this next week's streams will be a bunch of different jobs to do. I will be printing again, but the blocks for the print number 9 in the series that I would have printed while I was away, those are being handled by the ladies upstairs. So I will come back into the printing loop with job number 10. And that's still in test printing at the moment. After test printing is done, the first 200 will be done by Chiharu-san. It then comes back and I will jump in to the printing team. So I won't be printing for the next couple of weeks unless something comes up. It's still hot here. I was surprised. Over there, when I jumped on a plane and ran away, a week ago or whatever it was, I didn't take a jacket with me because it was just sweating. I got off at the other end and my daughter had to lend me a sort of a jacket to carry me over for the week or so. I left it with her, thinking when I come back I'll just freeze from the airport to the house, and I didn't. I got off the airplane into the jetway and it was tropical sweaty. It's still hot and sticky here in Japan. I don't know the number, late 20s or something, but it's still hot. Probably the girls, as soon as they get here, they'll be putting the air conditioner on. It's that hot still here. Okay, what's today's work? I think maybe actually to do the work today, we'll need to shrink these windows a little bit. I don't know if you've seen this before. I really don't remember. Paper is out. Paper is out for Yuki-san. She's going to be here today according to the schedule upstairs. She's doing that test printing on Dreams of Future Past number 10. I don't know if you've seen this before. What we're going to be doing is there's a stack of these in the back room at the moment, and I mean literally hundreds that have built up over the last week. In our dealings with other print shops in Tokyo, we buy and sell different prints, and the print shops in Tokyo here, some are high-end collector shops. A couple of them are out-and-out tourist shops. Some have a mix. There's a different, they have a different type of clientele. And when the prints are coming into them from the used dealers and stuff like this, it's quite often that a print shop, one of the guys downtown, they get a bunch of stuff that they can't use. There are print shops here that are pretty much devoted only to original woodblock prints, from the Edo time. And when they end up with some stock of the 20th century reprints, they don't know what to do with them. Well, I mean, they have to sell them, but they don't have casual visitors and tourists and people that are just looking for a nice Japanese woodblock print. So we hear about this, we talk to them, and we scoop it. So these have come to us from another dealer who just simply has no client base for them. And what they are, we'll talk about them as we go along this morning. They're prints that were made in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. We'll see different ones as we go. And they're all glued down onto backboards. The publishers at that day didn't care about, you know, archival stuff, and they glued them down. So this is 1950s, so this is now 75 years old. The print actually is still okay, but it's got to come off the backing. This is my job this morning. The staff takes off the ones they can do, and stuff that needs a bit more of a professional hand, they leave for me. So this is today's job. It's kind of a show and tell mixed together with the work. So interesting or not, I don't know. Someone's mentioning the family loss, and for those who don't know, the reason I went to Canada last week, my mom passed away about 10 days ago. It's not, well, what can I say? It's not a family loss. There was no tragedy. The lady was 98 years old, had had a wonderful, wonderful life, and passed away peacefully in her sleep at 98, not to anybody's surprise. So it's, there was no hugging and tears and crying and whatever. It was just a gentle end of somebody's life, whatever. Someone's got it wrong. Who is this? Sharpen the Kento chisel for paper removal. We need to dull the Kento chisel for this job. If it's too sharp, it's really easy to slice into the paper. We're going to be splitting more than we're cutting. So the chisel does not need to be sharp. And of course, I should keep a separate one for this job instead of, you know, dulling it on the desk and then sharpening it again for when I need it. So. Can I zoom out further? Let's see what's going on. No, this is max for this camera. What we're doing, can't really see it. Here's the system, the prints. This is the Oedo Mokuhankan. A company, I don't know when they started. I only ever see their mark on prints from the immediate post-war era. This is Dai Big Edo Mokuhan Prince Sha Company. That was the name of their company, Oedo Mokuhankan. And they seem to have done things in collaboration with other companies. We get prints from Yamada Shoin, which show their logo. And I think we've even seen some Takamisawas, which were distributed by these guys. I don't know. The carver here is marked as Harada, and the suri is marked at, let me turn it around so I can't see it upside down. I think it's Tochigi-san. I don't know him. Harada-san we knew, and again, there's a little bit of a twist here. This is marked as Carver Harada, and this is Harada's bench, which came to me from his son. I don't know whether it's exactly the same piece of wood that he carved this exact print on, or whether he had different workbenches during his life. I don't know. But the little bring the circle to a full close is these Oedo Mokuhankan prints, for which Harada was one of the main carvers. If this is accurate, if it really was carved by Harada, because they just stamp names on anything, then it was indeed carved on this bench. And here's the situation. You can see, even you don't even need, look, you can see what's going on here. The backboard is just crap. What do you call it in English? This is borigami in Japanese. It's not cardboard like making a cardboard box. What do you call it in English? It's white on one side, brown on the other side. It's stiff. It's almost 1 millimeter thick. I don't know what the stuff's called. Backing board, somebody is saying. I don't know. It is absolutely not archival. If you look at one corner of it to try and pull it apart, it sort of comes apart in layers sometimes. This one doesn't split. Sometimes it splits in layers. This one is not going to do that. Sort of splits. I don't know what it's called. It's absolutely one of the worst things you should put on a cardstock, poster board, Bristol board, I don't know, whatever. So the print has to come off. And we can see also, looking behind this one, look at this, we can see there are already problems, but I think these problems are not from the backing board onto the print, because we see a pattern here that seems to line up with this one. For example, there's blue pigment here, and look at that, we see something blue on the back. We see something at the top here. The sky area has transferred. Dave's best guess, this sky would have been printed twice, the upper gradation, the lower gradation. So even though there's no color here, this would have been rubbed on the back with the Baron. And Dave's first guess here, with no chemical analysis, is that maybe the printer used a bit too much oil, and there was quite a bit of oil left on the paper, and what you're seeing here is some kind of reaction with the backboard, or maybe simply an oil stain. I don't know. The print looks fine, actually. Anyway, clearly, the print has to come off. And the staff has left a stack for me. There's about 30 here, and there's a stack, another 50 or 60. I've got enough of this for days and days and days. How to get them off? They could go into a hot bath. We could dunk this whole thing into a hot bath, wait a half an hour or so, and try and lift it off. It's not possible for us to do it that way, because simply these prints are not worth enough money. They came to us for whatever, 6, 7, 8,000 yen. They will be going out for 9, 10, 11,000 yen. Our margin on them is about 3,000 yen, which is like about an hour and a half staff pay. And if if staff spends an hour and a half on this, we've lost money on it. We can't do it. So there's not enough value in these to allow for professional level restoration, but they've got to come off. Someone says, I can't hear anything outside. The microphone is on outside, actually. Temporarily for a moment, let me boost the level of the outside audio. If it turns out to be a problem, you can let me know. Somebody's saying it's too loud. Wow, whatever. I'll put it back. It is there and it is on. Okay, some of these are going to be really easy, as in a couple of seconds, and some are going to be difficult. And look at this. The first one on the stack here is an easy one, because what they've done, can you see? There's where it's glued. It's glued right here in this area, about that far and about that distance. That's Oedo Mokuhankan style. The corners are not glued. Adachi does it with one dab here and one dab at the corner. Yamada Shoin and Oedo, they do it this way with a strip of glue here. And on a print like this, that has a narrow bottom margin, narrow right margin, and wide right margin, we have a very, very simple way to do this. We are just going to simply slice it away. There's more than enough room on the print. Look at this. The glued part stays, this part slides off, and we have more than enough nice margins all the way around. That was easy. If they're all going to be this easy, then we're going to run out of time today. We're going to have too much time. Okay, I didn't prepare an outstack, so let me do this. Let me use this paper for the moment as the outstack. I'll stack them up here on the right hand, yes, beside me. And let's move along. There are a ton of things on my memo to talk about today. We'll see how it goes. The series that we're doing, this particular series right now, is a series that Oedo made of 25 famous images from the old times reproduced. The one we looked at a moment ago, this was a hokusai design from the 100 Poets series that he started to do but never completed. Or the publisher started to publish it but never completed. This next one is Utamaro. It's from the book he did, I forget the title of the book, Momochidori, 1,000 Birds. This one's not so bad. Same thing. This one too. They're not all going to be like this, but these first two are like this. There's room at the top to slice it off. The girls could have done this actually. They just left this whole deck for me, not knowing which ones were tough and which ones were easy. The stamp is the same. Carver Harada. This one's different. Suri is Itakura. Do they ever hide things in the images, like writing in the grass or something? There was really no tradition of Easter eggs in the old prints at all. No, of course. The people doing the job of making these prints were hired craftsmen, and there would have been no more sense of hiding something in the print than there would be of your plumber putting his name on the pipe in your house. You know, it's just like, what? The plumber's there to fix the pipes. This carver is there to carve a print. You know. I think we can do the same thing with this one. What would I do if there isn't a big enough margin? You're about to see, because there's no way we're going to get through this. So just hang on a moment and you will see. Here we are. Here's one such. This thing has a huge margin at the top, more than we need. A wide margin at the left, more than we need. Normal at the bottom, normal at the right, but it's glued in that margin. And we want to keep that margin. I could slice it off, but come on, give me a break. That would just leave a strange looking print. So we're going to move on to method B. Well, you got a plumber who signed his work. Okay, maybe I picked a bad example, whatever. Maybe plumbers leave Easter eggs for the next plumber, do they? Okay, whatever. I think you get my point, that there was nothing specific about the work. Okay, there's our, you can see, here we are. There's our, let's mark it so you can see it. Start somewhere around there. And start somewhere around there. And how far in does it go? It goes in about there. So this is the zone that's glued down tightly. You've seen us do this sort of thing. I'm going to take my knife, my print knife, and I'm going to dig in. I'm not going to try and split this. I'm going to dig in to the backboard like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to slide down. You can see it here. This kind of a thing. I'm going to dig into the backboard and release the whole thing. I'm not going to try and go all the way in one batch. Okay, we're past it. Now I've got to go a bit farther. Okay, so like this, if we do it out here where you can see what's going on. What I've done here now is this kind of a thing, and the print would be stuck. The glue would be in this area. So now we're going to lift it up a bit by pulling at the back. And underneath this, I'm going to slide a knife. Of course, the knife is facing down. We're not cutting the print. And there we are. We've separated now. So this area here is the area you saw there. And we've still got backboard stuck to the print, but at least now we can get to it. Should we zoom in a bit? It looks a bit dark around here today. What's going on? We've got the light on the front. Is it too dark? I don't know. So now we've still got backboard glued to the print, but now with all that crap out of the way, we can now start to do the actual. Here we are. I'm going to cut. I'm slicing backboard away now. Before I was moving down, now I'm moving up. I'm not going to try and do it all in one pass. And if I go too far, I'm in trouble. So for the very end of the process, is it visible? We're going to scrape it off. Mechanical removal. And then back to the knife for the final, just trim fraction of a millimeter. So that the edge comes up as a nice edge. And there we have it. Now, this is not an invisible repair. There's right there's a tiny bit of backboard left, and here there's another tiny bit of backboard left. And if I go too far, it'll tear the washi. So it's easier, it's safer for me just to leave it like that. The print is now completely fine. It will frame. The girls will put a little note, removed from previous backing, and we are now good to go. If it was a $100,000 tomato print, maybe it's worth the time and trouble to go that next little step. And then again, maybe not, because it's a bit dangerous. That's what we're doing today. Have I encountered them? What does it say? What's the question? Just a sec. Get the next one teed up here. Have I encountered them gluing prints on normal paper rather than the boards? We get prints sometimes, and in fact there's more on the stack that's waiting for me today. They're in what we call paper mats. It's a piece of wide paper with a mat hole cut on one side, then they fold it over. So they tip the print on this side, fold it over, and it's got its own little mat built in. It's not a mat, thick mat board like in a frame, but it's a little, a mat sleeve. So yeah, sometimes these prints are pasted onto thinner paper. I prefer this because this is easier to manipulate. Another hokusai print. I think it's from the Poets series? I can't remember. There's a series he did on older poets. I'm sorry, I don't remember. What do we do here? We have small margins all the way around. Nope, it's glued right to there. So there's no way we can cut this off in the front. We'll have to do the same thing. With nobody watching, we bang these out. You know, I say, cut, next. This is not the 100 Poems by the Nurse. I'm sorry. It's a different set of poetry. This previous one was Hokusai's 100 Poems. It says at the top, Shakunin 100 Poems as told by the Nurse. That's this series. The one we're looking at now is not from that series. I'm sorry. It's nothing to do with the 100 Poems. And I don't even remember. The series maybe, it's not the Bridges series. It is. It's a series of poetry. Oh, Ayano-san. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Okay.
Kick my shoes out of there and come and say hello. Soka.
Shoes.
My
Sandals.
whatever. My foot, kick my footwear. I can't reach it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
They're brand new. You can touch them. It doesn't matter. She's like reaching out because my footwear is there. It's 1,000-year-old sandals.
No.
They're
Well,
brand
I'm
new,
using my
worn
fingertips.
today for the first time. So,
Well, yeah, I didn't really use
are you
my
okay?
fingertips, but I
All right,
didn't
all
really
right, all
think
right,
about
all
that.
right, all right. No comment necessary. Haven't seen you. Let me get this out of the way. So, how you doing? Haven't seen you for ages.
そうですね、もう1ヶ月ぐらいじゃないですか。
About a month, yeah. When you went to Europe in?
UK, just mainly in Wales.
When did you leave? Where you went in?
We left on the 9th.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
been like 4 weeks since you
Yeah,
saw here.
we left.
But for those who don't know, Anu-san and her husband Taran-san, our carver, they had a baby 4 months ago. By now, I guess 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago,
14, 15 months.
6 years ago, they had a baby. I don't know. They had a baby a while ago and take it back to show Taran's family.
Yeah,
Sure,
first time, yeah.
so of course, it's 14. That went good fun, I guess. How was it traveling with the kid? It was okay?
It was, well, to get to London was okay, 13, 14-hour flight. That was okay, he was behaving nice. And that day we stayed in London for a day, and Taran had an appointment with Kapsin-san.
Oh yeah, British Museum. Yes.
That was
Looking for a
okay.
report later on, but whatever, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we stayed in London one night, so that was okay. Then we headed to Wales.
Wales,
Next day. Fine. The way back was tough because we started from Wales to London to Tokyo.
Oh, all in one do,
Tokyo.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, no rest at all, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
tough. And
yeah,
when we landed in London, actually, all the tubes were cancelled because of the strike.
Oh, okay.
So it was tough. We walked from British Museum to London Euston Station, which was
That's close enough.
it's not bad, but with the suitcase and the baby,
yeah,
it was kind of difficult.
So,
Yeah, weather was really bad.
You mean your rain and stuff, you mean?
Yeah, almost every day for
Really?
2 weeks.
Going to the UK in the fall and it rained? I don't
My
know.
image was like rains and stops, it clears up and starts raining again or something like that.
None of
It
us
was
can
just, like,
predict
raining.
any of this stuff anymore.
Raining all day, every day.
I had heard that the UK had a hot summer because there was these deals where in the old parks the grass was dying and you could see where the old buildings were. And
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I heard. They had nice, like hot summer, sunny days, but then we just missed the summer time. So
So back to normal now.
back to normal, yes, finally. My baby got really bad jet lag, but finally, yeah, recovered.
Doesn't matter. Put him in bed.
No, we do that, but then he
Oh, because he's got to go to
wakes up in the
daycare center.
middle of the-
Yeah. I'm jet lagged like crazy. I got up at 3 o'clock this morning, so whatever.
Oh no.
Whatever. I'm first day back, so of course. you know,
そうですね。
so.
Well, your trip to Canada was very unexpected, and I'm sorry to hear about the
Oh, there's no. I don't. Thank you for the whatever. People have been giving condolences and whatever. It really. There's no. It was time. 98 years old. It was a peaceful end, and it was a relief for her.
No pain?
No. She disappeared during her afternoon nap. Just didn't wake up after her nap. So nothing at all. And you're not allowed to say this. It's a relief for the family. It was just she had lived. There was nothing enjoyable left for her. So it's a relief all around.
So I guess lots of work's piling up on your desk at the moment.
Both. I don't even know.
how
It's
much.
okay. It's okay. The bigger thing, I think I need to sit down with you and Taran-san and maybe a couple of other key people here to try and we've got to pilot our ship for the next year. The Mokuhankan ship at the moment, whatever, we're plowing ahead through the sea, throwing up this wake. We look happy and healthy, whatever. But the Mokuhankan ship at the moment has some pretty strong, we're about to hit some pretty tough storms. Well, we're in them already. Post office,
so, yeah.
we're in some of the storms already. So I need not some help, but it's time to share some of the driving about Mokuhankan. Up to now, Dave has just decided what we do, where we go, everything, and it's up to these guys to sort of make it happen along with me. But it's very much now time to come up to the wheelhouse with me and let's talk together and see where we want to take this thing. So there's going to be some interesting discussions here
My schedule is
over the
flexible,
next couple of
as
weeks.
always,
Yeah. So, I haven't seen. I haven't been watching chat. Is there questions for the lady or whatever's going on? I don't know. No, they're talking about what I was just doing here. So yeah. So yeah, there's a whole ton of things. I know. At the moment, I'm off. It seems that I'm off printing duties until number 10 comes up, right? Number 9, the first batch is already
It's
shipping.
done, yeah.
I know the second groups are printed by Ami-san and Ishikawa-san. Number 10 is still in testing.
I think so,
So-
yeah.
so-
I heard that Yuki-san
Okay,
have finished already.
maybe
I don't
okay,
know.
maybe son, I'll look forward to
Yeah.
learning that today. So I'm off printing now for I guess about 2
2
weeks or
weeks.
so. So okay, which is good because I think it's time for some management work, whatever.
So this is it.
And we'll see. So I'm not sure what jobs I'll be doing on the stream for the next couple of weeks. There will be sizing. There might be more of this. There might be, I don't know. Just I don't know. But it'll be odds and ends jobs for me at streaming time. So
Yeah, I will talk to you.
yeah, I'll see you when
once
we're over.
we
Yeah,
finish.
thanks very much, Anna-san. Nice to see you again. Yeah,
Nice to
thank
see
you.
you again.
Good. Look at this. I won't tell him what I won't tell him what she's holding in her hand. It's okay. Hi Dave, glad to have caught you live. Jeremy, I don't know if I remember names or something, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't. Bought the Port of a Central Asian woman. If you're talking June, half a year ago, it's beyond what I can remember. I'm sorry, so I shouldn't say that. I don't know, whatever. Okay, let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. Where are we? We did that already, right? Here and here, okay. Names. There are, before I forget, I mean, this thing is today it's going to fly all over the place. Before I start here then, let me toss in something. Yesterday I flew back, whatever, DHL. Okay, well, we'll talk about Post Office DHL. That's coming up in a minute here, actually. I didn't even write it down. Post Office DHL. PODHL. I flew this time to Canada when the call came from my brother, on that stream a couple of weeks ago. The call came, Dave, come on, you better get back over here. I went to my usual suspects. JAL runs direct flights to Vancouver, and the ANA runs direct flights back and forth to Vancouver. It was there on a Friday. I was trying to get a flight for the weekend, and there was like nothing less than $5,000. Or there was then you upgrade to first class, and we're talking $12,000. My mom had already passed away, so that sort of took a lot of the edge off it. There was no need for me to drop everything and spend a fortune to do this. So I hunted up a couple of more, and Zip Air. It's a low-cost carrier. I believe they are a subsidiary of, am I going to get in trouble? JAL. I'm not quite sure. Zip Air, I think they're a JAL subsidiary. I don't know. And they have what they call now a low-cost service to Vancouver. It's still more than what I used to pay for a regular service before the pandemic. But there it is. Instead of the $5,000, I got a flight for $13,000, about $1,300 Canadian. I don't know US. It was 130,000 Japanese yen. So in American dollars, maybe it's $1,000 or something. That was a boom, boom, back and forth to Vancouver or whatever. Someone's asking, did I end up hand delivering the print? Yes, check our Instagram channel. Photo evidence of this. Check our Instagram. So I travel by Zip, and for those of you who are interested in this sort of thing, John is not here today, but he needs to know this, or he would like to know this. It was wonderful. In my own experience, I can tell you, even though it was a low-cost carrier, I have absolutely no complaints. You have to know what you're doing, because there's no seat back entertainment, there's no screens, there's no food automatically. There's no water. You want a cup of water, you got to pay for it. You can't move your seat. I was sitting there. There was an empty 3-banger beside me. He said, sure, you can buy the 3 of them for 3,700 yen each and sleep there if you like. At that point, I'm like, I'll sleep in my chair. So they don't let you move seats, anything like that. But it was smooth and comfortable. As long as you get ready to get your own food and stuff like that before you go. And also, you're not allowed to take any alcohol. I had not understood that rule. So in the Japan side of the flight, I had prepared, leaving Tokyo, after going through security, I prepared my dinner, nice chicken salad, whatever. I had prepared breakfast, I had prepared juice, and I prepared a little can of beer ready to have with dinner. They took it away from me. You're not allowed to take your own alcohol on the flight. But they were polite about it, no problem, whatever. No, the deal is not being able to move an empty seat. The deal is everything is extra. You want a bag, extra. You want to carry on, extra. You want this, extra. That's why the base price is as low as it is. So I had no quibble with that. The people were friendly. There was, the check-in service was easy. So for those of you who are into, international flights, my experience anyway, I can recommend the Zip. It was a 787-333. It was 8 hours out and 10 hours back. I guess 8.5 hours out and 10 hours back. It's the polar, the jet streams and stuff. They help you on the way out and they hurt you on the way back. And I sort of screwed myself. I have a ton of work to do. So I thought, okay, this is enforced. Don't take a book. Don't take any stuff on your... I used to carry an iPod with music, whatever. Don't take any of this stuff with you, Dave. You got 8 hours, you're going to sit there. 10 hours coming back, you can do the work you need to do. There's print stories you need to write. There's the planning for the next year. I had a ton of work to do. I didn't get any of it done. Two things screwed me up. Two things. One is, I can laugh, whatever. This is not a book review corner, but Gavin Carr, the conductor who was here a while ago, who I mentioned on these streams, he had recommended to me, Dave, there's a book that you must read. And he was here to do the concert in Hiroshima, Benjamin Britten War Requiem, which of course is heavily, it wasn't written for Hiroshima specifically, but the Benjamin Britten War Requiem is of course all about that kind of event. Gavin had, as part of his preparation for being able to conduct the War Requiem at Hiroshima, he had studied more about the events of August 1945. And as part of this, he came across a book called Shockwave. And it's not old, it's a newer book, and it describes a great amount of the background, the run-up to the events leading to the atomic bomb explosion in Hiroshima in 1945. And we're talking scientific run-up, we're talking about political run-up, who made the decisions and how they were made and stuff like this. Gavin heartily recommended it. I said, Gavin, I've read many books about this. I'm sort of up to on this. He said, no, read this one. It's better than all the rest. So I ordered it, and it came in the few minutes before I was heading out to the train to head to the airport. So I didn't have the stamina to sit there and leave the package on the table and follow my plan of working on the airplane. I threw the book in my bag. So there goes the outbound journey. I read Shockwave, a book about the events leading up to the Hiroshima explosion. And it's good. I learned a lot from it. It wasn't overly maudlin. It wasn't blaming anything. It was just a research book, which brought a lot of facts that I hadn't known about all that. And I left the book on my mother's bookshelf, so I won't be bringing it back for a show and tell. But I did read it. That killed the outbound trip. So I was determined to get work done on the inbound trip. Didn't happen. It didn't happen because of this. Let me type in, I think I got it right. Let me try and do this. Campbell Art. Here we are. That's an Instagram handle. This young man, the young man I've just typed in there, if I got it right, can somebody confirm? Check that on Instagram. This is the young man who was sitting next to me on Zip Air yesterday, coming from Vancouver to Tokyo. We're settling into our seats, and it's a full flight. We're maxed out. So, you know, you got to be, I had been in first. He excused, can I sit down? Whatever. We chatted for a minute. I'm like, are you traveling over to Tokyo for tourism? He's, yeah, how about you? And I said, no, I live there. And he's, really, what do you do, you know? And I told him what I did, and he's looked at me, you do what? And I explained what we do, that we're a print publisher. And he's like, just admit it. The young man is an oil painter, making a living at it, and he sells prints of his paintings. You know? So we're like, we had actually 2 or 3 things that we could talk about. So there went most of the flight. Very, very personable young man. The stuff is incredible. He's got a real skill set. Okay, this one now, there's no way I can trim this, because look at this. It's stuck on this side. And look at this, it's stuck this far down, right into there. Ow! And there's marginalia. Okay, now there's 2 things here. The glue on the edge strip here will be as it is, but when they were doing it, the little old lady who did it must have actually got a dab of the glue by mistake over here. So it won't be glued solidly all this way. There will be a solid glue along the edge, and a little dab will do you right there. So I can get rid of that first, I think. I think that's got that, popped it up. Let's see. A bit more up at the top here, 1 sec. Nope, that's as far as we can go. Okay, the little dab is popped off. It just popped off. And now we've got to slide in. Okay, back to work. Yeah, the young man, he was an interesting person. He's very young to be already making a living with his art. He's got a wonderful, wonderful skill set. There might be people who don't dig what he does because he's into, what's it called? I think it's hyper-realism is what he does, which is not everybody's cup of tea. But the young man has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful skill set. And he also seemed to have his head screwed on. He knew what he was doing. He was planning his life. So I had a great time talking, chatting to him. I guess he's big on TikTok and stuff. And I think he also, as part of his way to make a living, I believe he has tutorials on his teaching, training. I think he has videos on one of those websites where you subscribe to a website to get lectures from people who know their stuff. I don't remember the name of it, I'm sorry. And so it's funny. We chat for a while, break off. I read a newspaper. We chat for a while, break off. He pulls out his laptop and starts editing video. And I'm like, I thought of doing that. You know, I didn't take, for planning these flights, I was thinking, gee, if I do this, I've just taken all that video from Echizen, making the paper making tools. If I take that with me on the flight, I can get most of the video editing done for the next YouTube video on the flight. But I thought, no, Dave, I've got enough managing work to do. I don't need to do that. So I didn't take my raw files with me. But if I had done that, he's sitting here doing video editing for his next YouTube video about painting. And I would have been sitting next to him doing my YouTube video editing for woodblock printmaking. What god of airplane ticketing put the 2 of us together on that flight, which was maxed? Maxed. So someone's got that. It wasn't an anomaly at all. Everybody on the plane was a streamer or a YouTube. Perhaps so. I don't know. Meet somebody on the plane next to you who's a YouTube content creator. Okay, so what else is new? Maybe. I mean, what are the odds now? Maybe 50-50. I don't know. So I just didn't notice anything else. Yeah, I gotcha. The sound you hear in the background is the hotel over the back, the vacuum cleaner over at the hotel. What did I say? The hotel over at the vacuum cleaner. I'm tired, I'm still tired. It's been a kind of busy week. I've actually been working for the past few days. And I mean working like as in physically working. My daughters, who were part of our family meetings and stuff over there this week, this visit to take care of my mother's affairs also coincided. My daughters are moving their workshop, not their showroom area for their company, but they were moving the workshop, the part where they do their actual work. They do gold casting. They make jewelry, wedding rings and stuff. And they physically make it. They make the stuff from zero. Bits of gold in a little cup and melt it up and pour it in and cast it and stuff. And they do that in a place called the Vancouver Block in Vancouver. It's a building that for 100 years has been home to jewelry makers and jewelry manufacturers. And I myself used to buy tools from a company in that block back when I was working as a musical instrument repairman. Because when you're fixing flutes, you're casting keys and stuff like this. It overlaps a jeweler's work. So I knew my way around that building. I used to be in there back in the 1970s. Anyway, so they're moving from one office to another in the Vancouver block as of the end of September. And I was there for the last 2 days. And they were busy. So they had moved most of the stuff into the new office. But what they hadn't had time to do was take down all the old shelving in the old office. I'm sitting there hanging around. My daughter Himi looks at me and I look at her and I'm like, is there something I can do? And she says, well, yeah. And I spent 2 days taking down shelving in the old place. I had a nice white shirt which didn't make it through the process. Whatever. You do what you gotta do. But I'm taking down shelves and unscrewing stuff where it's been bolted into the concrete like 80 years ago or whatever. That one's all good. This is very thin sheet of paper, and I am not going to try and go much farther. I've left shades of brown here and there, but already there's places where I scraped a bit too much and went too thin. This thin sheet of paper, we can't go more than that. As I said, when they put it in the shop, they'll be marked, removed from backing. There's no way, without spoiling it, without destroying it, I can't go any farther than that. Casually mentions the 70s like it was yesterday. It was. I remember going in the building, It was yesterday. The aspect, of course, with my mother now gone, I am now the oldest in our family, I have 2 siblings, my brother and sister. We used to have, my parents were on top, and me and my brother and sister, and my own kids below. My parents are now both gone. and my brother and sister are still with us, but I'm the oldest in the family, so I'm next. Whatever, next in line. Excuse me a sec. There's another thing about these prints, you know. Wasn't published as a single print on this backboard. It was published as a set. This particular set had 25 prints in it, and it's come to us now. Where's the task sheet job she's got? 17. There are 17. So this came to us as a broken set. There are 17 of the original 25 still left. And we've talked about this here on the stream many, many, many times, you know. Like what we're going to do with this now, we bought it as a batch of prints, 17 of them. We're not going to sell it that way, of course. After I remove each one of these, we're going to put them on nice clean backboard, acid-free paper, mount it up, get it all ready to go. And it will go out of here as an individual item. We don't ask people, you must buy all 17 of these, because it used to be part of a 17-piece set. That makes no sense. But it's really, from the point of view of this print, it has been sitting in its folder since the 1950s. Never looked at, never opened, because to enjoy, we've talked about it. You get the package, you untie the string, you open it, you dig around, you find the paper folder, you pull the paper folder out, you look inside, you open the print, take a peek at it, close it back, put it back in the paper folder, put the paper folder in, get the next one, open the paper folder. They're not browsable. You can't actually see the things. They made sense. They were subscription prints. So when they arrived, one each month, the person would have looked at it, then put it in the folder. Or maybe they would have kept an open and closed frame. Although with this set, that doesn't make sense because some of them are larger and some of them are smaller. They weren't all the same footprint. So this print has basically been shut up in its paper prison for 1955, let's say, whatever. So it's 70 years this thing has been sitting there, you know. Someone says, am I still planning on carving the 12th print in the series? No, the Chonsan is almost finished that. That's done. That moved to Chonsan. I am a printer these days. There's no way, no way, no way. It's almost done already. Taransan has finished all his batch. And the last one, number 12, is the last one being carved. It's being carved now. Johnson was busy with it before I left for Canada. He may be finished already. So I'm not up to date on the latest update, but I believe the carving for the series is almost finished, or maybe has been finished. Nothing left but the printing. Someone says, what sort of glue? I really don't know. It's something tight. We did try some experiments with this when we first had prints from this publisher. It is water soluble. It does get softer in water. But to do that on a thick backing, it's hours and hours and hours of immersion. And then you got to go through all the process of drying all the print. And even then, when you're pulling it apart, the paper is so thin sometimes that it still gets you in trouble. So we're going with this mechanical removal process rather than chemical, which I wouldn't know how to do, or moisture. And the process we're using does leave some of this on the back of the print. And as I said, a print of this value, just hontoni, a couple of thousand yen, we can't take the time to do that. There's just no way to do that. I can't invest $100 in getting a few scraps of paper off the back of a $50 print. You know? I think in the world of real restoration too. What's the guy's name? Baumgartner, the guy that does those YouTube videos or whatever. He must be in the same situation. There must be people come to him, can you restore my painting? And he looks at it and says, yeah, that's going to take me 500 hours or whatever at his rate. And that's perhaps more than that particular painting would be worth. So there must be lots of jobs that he can't do because the cost benefit is just not there. Places like the British Museum, whatever, or we've got a Picasso or something that's worth X millions, you can spend a whole lot of time on those things. But something like this, you can't. So this one, we're going to leave it like this. We've got most of it away. The print has now been released from its prison. It will be safe. And that's all we can do. This one, look at this. It's got a bit of pigment here too. So what we'll do is we'll trim the very edge. Get rid of that pigment mark while we're at it. And we now have a nice, clean print for the chicken lover in your life. Oh, this one looks like it might be easier. Look at this. There's a normal margin on the bottom, a normal margin on one side where the registration mark was, and then they left a ton of paper cut unevenly at one side and a ton of paper at the top. So we're going to do this one easily. When is the How to Tie a Baron on Twitch? Coming up, because now, as I said, I don't have printing jobs right now. So what's today? Today is Thursday. I'm probably going to be doing sizing Saturday. The Baron tying will come then next week, Monday, Thursday, or Saturday. I don't know, but coming up. Thank you for reminding me. I was upstairs today picking up the camera from where it was, and I noticed that the Baron that is broken, has a bad cover, is still sitting on my bench. Nobody has recovered it yet. So that's my job. So yes, let's do that next week. And absolutely for doing that, I will need to prepare by moistening 2 or 3 or 4 skins, because we're going to split one for sure. We, the royal we. Look at this. Nice. Came up very well. No need to scrape this one because they left such a thick piece of paper, a wide margin. What's next? Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. Hoo, hoo, hoo. The staff would have been waiting for this one. I think they have back orders for this one. This is a very, very, very popular design. I think they have people waiting for this. So don't get too excited. These prints I'm cleaning today, they will all be going into our flea market in the shop. Some of them may be online. But I believe the girls upstairs have a waiting list for this one. I'm not sure. If you're curious about it, do the thing. Write to Ayano or write to info@mokuhankan.com. So I've got to be really careful with this one. If I screw this up, they will be really, really, really upset. This is printed nicely too. Sometimes this Oedo Mokuhankan stuff, sometimes the printing is really not nice. It's kind of substandard. In fact, we had one. I wasn't planning on this, but we pulled this out of the shop the other day. This was Yuyudo. It was in the shop. The staff had put it in, and the printing. Somebody in the shop, a customer, came and said, "Dave, what's with this? What's with the white streaks?" And I'm like, "Well, the white streaks are supposed to represent rain. It's part of the design, but it's been printed blurrily. And look at this, the white streaks in the sky. This is awful, abominable printing." And the guy looked at me and I looked at him, and so I sort of said, "Well, I think maybe we should pull this one out." They had put it on clearance, even so, but I don't know. I just couldn't see putting this out with my name on it, even though it's clear we didn't make it, even at a junk price. I don't know. There's always that conundrum. We can't make We can't sell every print as a perfect, wonderful A-grade AAA item. That's just, they don't exist. Okay, what's next? This one is nice. They've done a nice job. It's really, really thick paper, which is going to make my job here a little bit easier. Any pool news? Well, I wasn't there for the past 10 days. I went this morning. I did my kilometer. The pace lady was there. She passed me once, and the weight was 64.4. That's a thing, actually. Let me get this one done. 9 o'clock. Show and tell. I'm not quite sure what to do here, show and tell. There is a batch of prints sitting here that Naomi-san left for me. Okay, yeah, we have a show and tell, but it's going to be the same sort of stuff as this. The pool news on it, when I left last week, I had gone to Echizen on Monday, remember? And then Tuesday was, I flew Tuesday. So I hadn't been to the pool on Monday. So I didn't show up, and I had planned that I could tell the pool friends, whatever, hey, I'll be going out of town for 10 days or so, whatever. But because of the schedule, I didn't show up there on Monday. And on Tuesday morning, I was flying. So the pool, from the pool people's point of view, I just disappeared. And that was like whatever it was 8 or 9, 10 days ago. So when I showed up today, they were all over me. Hey, what happened? Have you been sick? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And here, the easiest thing would have been to say, I just didn't feel well for a few days, and they would have just turned away. But I told them that actually my mother passed away and I had to make a quick trip overseas. And that was the truth, but that then results in a big outpouring of, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and everybody bowing down and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. But yeah, that was my excuse for not being at the pool, so everybody's on board with it. But back to normal, I did a kilometer and she didn't pass me. Oh, she passed me once, I'm sorry, passed me once. Dave. We've got a bit of a trim here. They trimmed carelessly. Look at this. So I'm going to be trimming a little tiny bit. Nothing on the outside. I'll be careful this one. I'm not going to go too deeply. I know this is such a nice print. I don't want any chance of damaging this paper. So we're just going to get rid of the bulk of the backing, and we'll leave a little thin layer there. Is it getting busier outside? How is it? Asakusa getting busier. Any adventures in Washi News? I guess there is, because as reported last time we had a stream, I had told you the Saturday stream where I got the phone call from my brother about my mother's passing. I told you on that stream that next Monday, which was 10 days ago, I'm going to Echizen to take more video for the next YouTube video. Sadako and I took tons and tons of video, and we took video of a little old lady, literally a little old lady, and she was doing the weaving of the bamboo screen that Murata-san will use to make paper for us over the next years or so. So that was the purpose of the Echizen trip on Monday. We took a ton of video. I haven't seen it yet because we came back that night, Monday night. We came back to Tokyo late. I flew out the next morning. I haven't even looked at that video. It's still on in the camera. So maybe on our next stream here, this is Thursday, on Saturday, I will try and show you some clips of that. And that will be the clips for the Adventures in Washi Part 4. It would have been really nice to do the editing on the airplane, but I didn't get that organized. So yes, lots of stuff coming up. Sadako and I may have to go up there again, or maybe by myself or whatever. We took the video before writing the script for that next video. I couldn't write the script for the video because I didn't really know what we were going to see. So this is a bit different from some of the previous videos in that I know what to talk about. I know the plan. I write the script and then go and take video to fit it. But I couldn't do that this time because I didn't know what to expect. So this trip was sort of experimental. We went up there, we took a ton of video. I will now look at that video, try and patch it into a sensible story, and it may be that we need more video to help tell the story. So I will go back up there again if necessary. We'll see how it goes. There's no way I'm going to be able to start the video editing in the next few days because there's just too much stuff on my desk. But yeah, coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. Okay, I think we'll leave this one. Let me get it a bit smoother here. I've gone down to leave a very thin layer of that paper. I'm not going to try and take it all off. It would probably do more damage than we're worth. And there, the paper was already not nicely trimmed here. Zoom out a bit here. The paper was already not nicely trimmed, so we'll put a nice smooth line on it. And out she goes. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Where's it going to end up? Who knows? Nicely done. Very smooth sky. Unusual for that company. They really screw it up sometimes. Good. I think you're talking about Van Gogh. I think, wasn't this one of the ones that Van Gogh copied? When Van Gogh was making paintings and he put ukiyo-e prints in the back of the paintings, wasn't this one of the ones that Van Gogh did? I think so, you know. I think your conversation has overlapped with our reality here. Oh, another goodie, another goodie. When we got this set, you know, this happened, this stuff came in while I was away, so I wasn't part of the purchasing. But this particular set of 25 has some dynamite popular prints in it, and it has some stuff that's not so popular. And whenever we get the set broken, almost always it's the popular ones that are gone, because they're in a frame somewhere on the wall. And the broken set just has most of the ones that are not so popular. But this time round, the girls have really done it. They've scored. All the popular ones are still here, and it's other less interesting ones that are missing. So we have a nice set here. Also again, thick paper, we can get it off. Let's do this. First, the edge is on, let's straighten the edge. It's on uneven paper. This we can straighten. This we can straighten. This we can trim. Here. Oh, look at that. Here. It's only a short one too. Thank you. Thank you. You've seen the snow on this one, right? This is so cool. Can I get the light right? Yeah, you can see. Look. The snow is all embossed here and down at the bottom. Very light touch of gradation at the bottom. This is a nice set. Naomi-san, whoever got this, thank you. Coming soon to a woodblock shop near you, as in this afternoon. Okay, before we go to show and tell then, something to show you. I showed you one of these things before. Why is this so much stuff on my desk to do this right now? What's going on? Why am I like spending time mucking around with these prints? Couple of charts. I showed you one of these before, but you haven't seen the second one. Just before I went to overseas, I was showing you a chart of our assets. And it was the assets there. The yellow at the top is paper. This is up to last June, our financial year end. We're building up stock of paper. We're buying more than we can use. It's good, 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 because we don't know when we won't be able to buy anymore. The blue stuff in the middle is the prints that we've made. And if you go back, bump up 1, 2, 3 years, we'll see that's the bulk of our inventory is prints that we've made. You can see it going to the right, and it's even smaller now than it was last June. This ends in June. We are really, really running out of prints. Our printers can't keep up with the demand, both for subscriptions and for stuff in the shop. The red one at the bottom is this. It's prints that we buy and bring into our inventory. And you can see at the bottom, the red's been growing. Then last February, look at this. It takes a big jump last February. When I got the news about Kubota-san, I knew we had to pivot. I knew the blue would shrink, and I knew the red had to grow. So I've been buying. I've told the girls, buy. Look for good stuff, look for interesting stuff, whatever you can find, buy it, because we need it for the shop. Why do we need it for the shop? Another set of charts. Some of these you have seen. This is our shop pre-pandemic, 2019. You can see spring, summer. It's the, oh no, not dromedary, Bactrian. It's the Bactrian camel pattern. We can see this. That's before the pandemic. Pandemic killed it all. The first full year after the pandemic was revenge tourism. Back they came. It was fantastic. Spring and autumn. Was it double the previous? Not double, but it was whatever. It was looking good. October, November, look at them. The first year, October, November. Then we thought revenge tourism is over. It'll shrink back. It didn't shrink back. 2024 just poured it on. Look at October, November. Of course, spring as well. So then what happened last year? Did it finally start to taper off this year? Did it finally start to taper off? No, it has still climbed. Spring is up 25%. October, November starts yesterday. October and November, based on this pattern of history that we see over these past 4 or 5 years, are going to be off this chart. The demand is there. Those people are going to be coming in the door, and this last few weeks it's already started. The demand is, for us, infinite. And back to that same chart we saw a few minutes ago, the assets chart, wherever it was, I've lost it now. The chart that showed the assets, we simply don't have the stuff. We can't sell the yellow paper. We sell the blue and the red. So this is my conundrum right now. People are going to come in the door over the next 8 weeks. They want to do 2 things. They want to say, "Hi Dave, how you doing? Let's take a picture." And they want to take a print home. I should just shut you guys off. I am busy. That's why the girls have got this stack of 150 prints waiting for me. That'll last a few days. Someone says, "I'll be contributing to the member chart this year." Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. So I have no idea now. You know, we do the year-end video at the end of December. We do the year-end video with all the charts. You've seen a bit of a preview, but if I can't get some stuff into stock, that October, November will be way down. Someone's saying you could just sell the paper. Yeah, whatever, but that's not our business model. Vivid KP's got an idea, you know, limit per customer. I mean, is that a thing? Can we do that? Line up outside, limit 1 per customer. We had to do that with the Great Wave. We learned that when people were on the waiting list for the Great Wave, when they then got their letter saying, "Hi, you're at the top of the list, you can now go to the shopping cart," and Ayano-san gives them a secret code for putting in their order for the Great Wave. You just don't go through the open shopping cart, obviously. So she gives them a secret code, they click, they go to an order form where they can order their copy of the Great Wave. People at that point try and put in 2 or 3 or 4 as a number. And we didn't think that was going to be a thing. One day, this is years and years ago, whatever, Ayano-san says, "Dave, we got a problem. Mr. X got to the top of the list, he ordered 4 of them. And he paid during the night through PayPal, he's already paid 4 copies of the Great Wave, what are we going to do about it?" And of course, I had to write back and say, "Look, I'm sorry, we didn't put on the website limit 1 to customer, but after a 3, 4, 5-year wait, I'm sorry, it's 1 to a customer." So we refunded his money. I don't think he was particularly happy, but come on. Come on, come on. So in the Great Wave it is. It's one per customer. People send in their kids, you get this one, you get that one, you buy this one. Someone's saying, what's the average number of prints? You know, I don't have that number at hand. The number's in there. We've got all the data is there, but that's not a particular printout that I have. I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't find it while I'm sitting here talking to you right now, but it's easily findable. How many prints in one transaction? What's the average? Yeah, someone says it's my fault. Yeah, it's my fault, but my problem is what the heck am I going to do about it? What is the max, Dave? I don't understand what you're talking about. What is the max that people have bought? I have no idea. I know special black car people that block off the street and send in their staff. I know it's hundreds. I don't remember the number. I don't know the number. We don't need to explore that. It's not very common. There's been 2 events like that since we opened the shop, and we're not going to talk about it, but yeah, there are occasionally that sort of an event. Not very often. And it's not something we look forward to, you know. We would much rather have somebody pick up a print or just come in and say hello and talk to us than say, nice to meet you, Dave. My staff will take care of the rest of it. See you soon. Drives off in his black car, and the staff then, the locusts, go through the shop and do the stuff. You know, that's not really the pleasant way to do it. So, but yeah, the max at one time is hundreds, of course. We had one of those. I can't talk about names or anything. We had one of those. The person himself had already left. The staff, his staff, STAFF, were doing this all. And at the end of the transaction, they had stacked up all these prints, and my people and his people, they were adding this all up. And then the key man from that side says, okay, we'd like these delivered to Haneda Airport, the back tarmac, where our airplane is waiting tomorrow morning, framed. I mean, here we are. We're sitting one afternoon. They have put 150 prints or whatever it was on the counter to be delivered to their airplane tomorrow morning, framed. And at that point, I'm here. I've got to say, excuse me, we have a problem. We have a problem. And the king, the person himself had already left. So whatever. So they had some people with them, some tour guide people from JTB, the Japan Travel Bureau, some top people from there who were organizing logistics for this person. So at that point, I called the lady over, who we know, she does these sort of things for us all the time. I called her over into the conversation and say, we have an interesting thing for your people. Can you handle this? And she took it on. I baton touched to her, and this lady from JTB then talked to the people about getting this 150 prints framed, and she started working on it. And I was no contact with the rest of it for the rest of that deal. Did it happen or not happen? I don't know. The prints were bundled, they went into the black car, and I have no idea. No, I don't mean king as in king. I meant king as in the top man. Don't misunderstand what I said. We're not talking a capital K king. I meant the big man, the honcho. And that's a Japanese word, right? Honcho. I think that's a word that came from Japanese. Although I'm ready to stand corrected on that. So I'm saying set up a small coffee shop inside. Give them an alternative. Coffee shop, no, but we are working on the alternative. When I Understand was here a few minutes ago, we were talking about this, the alternative, what we're going to be doing. I have some plans. If we can't do our business model as we had planned and have been doing all over the years, then we need to adjust or adapt or edit or whatever our business model. So yeah, I'm not just sitting here, we are thinking about what to do. There it is. Honcho comes from a Japanese word for group leader. There you are. Look at that. Print parties again? No, I mean, it's an idea, of course, offers services instead of products. But we are in no more, we have no more ability to provide services than we do with products. In fact, even less. The print parties are a very, very high labor-intensive form of, oh, look at this, it's stuck in the middle. But the edge, let's see. Yeah, there's just a pop of glue. There it is, it came off. There was a pop of glue. Somewhere, there it is. One little drop of glue was in the middle. We can get that off. Gallery spaces. Well, of course, gallery spaces. That's what we can do. We have this collection that we've been showing on our show and tell. So that's, of course, that's what's currently top of David's thinking. If we can't be a flourishing publisher and we can't be a flourishing shop, then maybe we can be a light publisher and a light shop and offer the gallery exhibition explanation part of our business as a revenue model. Let's see how it goes. So there's going to be some interesting discussions now over the next few months about this. That's another Top Gun. Look at this print. So nice. This isn't a perfect print. Oedo still has that graininess. They put too much sizing in their paper. For the printers, it's very, very easy to print, but the result has too much graininess in the end result. But still, it is a nice, nice design. Coming soon to a woodblock print shop near you, as in probably this afternoon. Not online, in the shop. Any of these prints, if you're interested in any of these things, we're not selling stuff online here, but if you see something here that you would like to have an interest in, write to Ayano. She's upstairs waiting for your email right now. I don't know prices. I'm out of that loop. I don't know what they paid for these, so I don't know what the prices are going to be. I can't sit here and run a shopping channel here. Here we go, 8,000 yen, put your bid in. This one's going to be 13,000 yen. I am out of that loop. Their assignment to me is, Dave, get these off the damn backboards as soon as you can. Someone's got an idea, Langstrad. This is happening already. Could be an expansion in selling stuff from independent printmakers. Our, what's it called? Dave's guest corner is growing. The guest corner has grown a lot just in the past couple of weeks. We have many more prints available now from Terry McKenna, the the guy who is teaching printmaking up there in Karuizawa. We have more of him. We're waiting any day now, any minute now, with more from Karen to come in. Yes, I would like to have some prints from Jack Moranitz. I've asked him, but I don't hear anything yet from reply. I would like to increase the guest corner. We can do that. It's not an open invitation. Send me your prints, we'll sell them. It's got to come from my invitation because we kind of have pretty strict rules about what I would like to put in the shop, but I am open to that. And yes, the guest corner needs to expand. These last two have been lucky. Yes, I should have talked about that. Look at this, lost for words. Take the day's first chocolate egg. The whole set I'm doing is already online. Yes, I should have mentioned that this morning. Thank you, sir. Show and tell. Okay, it's 24. No, yeah. The show and tell, I want to spend more time on it. Let's punt. The show and tell prints I've got, I'm going to punt them to Saturday. Two reasons. One is it's too late now, and I really want, I really want to show and talk about these things. There's a magic thing. I can show it to you with no loss of secrecy. There's a magic thing here. And while I was away, the girls got a bunch of prints, and when they were planning to put them in the shop next couple of days, I got back and I said, sorry, no way. This is pure gold. So we're going to save this for a show and tell. But I see now it's 9:25, so I can't do it. So let's punt this to Saturday. And anyway, it's older prints that look very much the same as what we've been seeing today here. So let's do that. Sorry. No show and tell today. It's the same thing as what we've been just doing all the day here. Let me just keep working. There's news here I don't know about. AIMPE. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. If someone can give us more information and or a link. This is something else too. Look at this. We see this all the time with Oedo Mokuhankan prints. Look at this. A hole. And a hole. It's not in all the prints. It's in maybe 1/3 of them, maybe half of them, a third to a half. And I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I think what it is, because I've done the same thing myself. When I made my large scroll print, I had to do sizing on it, and there was no way, I had no place to hang it up to dry. So what I did was I got some gypsum board. You know, what's it called? Wall board. I don't know. The stuff when you make a 2x4 wall, you put the board up and you paint it later. I dried my prints after sizing on that. I dried those large prints by putting the wet paper on the board, putting a pin in each corner, and it dried against the gypsum board. Drywall. And it dried against the board tight as a drum. And I think that's what they've done here. Not 100% sure, but it looks like at each one of these corners, the thing has pulled out. It's pulled this way. And on this corner here, the pin has pulled that way. So I think the paper was moistened or sized, pinned up to dry in larger sheets. We don't see the pin on all four corners. These were larger sheets that were sized and pinned up. And they've been dried on a board by pinning them up. This is theory, this is not fact. I think that's what we're seeing. Another one, it's glued in the middle. It's a dab of loose glue. There is. We're right to the edge. Yeah, we got her. Yeah, you can see the dab. That's where the loose glue was, right on that little dab there. This is another one from that Hokusai series. 100 Poets as Explained by the Nurse. I don't know why they ran so heavily on that series. So it was Awagami, was it? What was this? Awagami International Mini Print Exhibition. Okay, I'm not on this. There's a link. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's do one more, then we will sign off and I will get upstairs and get my assignment for the day. I kind of know what it is, but whatever. I kind of know already. Oh, look at this. We've had good news, but this one is bad news. Look at this. This one may not make it into the shop. Good morning. We're live, by the way, just so you know. Hi. Now we can trim this one. We can trim off most of that foxing, but we have foxing inside, and I think this is too much for the shop. Sometimes if there's a 1 or 2 or 3 dabs of foxing, they can go in the shop as a used print, mark the price down, and tell the people this print is foxed. But I think this is too much. I'm going to trim this off. It's going to go in the back room. It's not coming out into the shop. Let's just get it off. It looks like yellow snow. Yeah, foxing is not something specific to Japanese prints, old books from years gone by. It's a thing that is not just relevant to our craft. Any museum or library in the world who is trying to preserve old books has to deal with foxing. It's not just Japanese prints. I myself am not knowledgeable about it, whether it's chemical, biological, mineral, I really don't know. There's lots of information out there about it, but I'm not an expert at all. Okay, I think we will leave it there. It's 9:30. I'm very, very glad to be back in the saddle. Thank you very much. And from now on, we are going to try and keep this as smooth as we can. You know, the streaming, even though I don't have printing to do every day, we are going to try and keep this back on schedule. There will be a stream in 2 days on Saturday. I might be sizing. I might be doing more of this work. I don't know. And there will be a show and tell to explain that wonderful, wonderful red mark that I just showed you. Just in time for the Vegetable Man. And for those of you who don't know, this is the same truck and the same company, but the elderly guy who used to do it, he has been replaced. This is a new guy who has this route, younger. Not so much younger, but whatever. The older guy who used to do it has been switched out. Anyway, thanks very much. I'll see you on Saturday morning. Thanks for your patience during the stream interruptions this past couple of weeks. It says, yasai, vegetables, yasai no maruyasu. Yasu presumably implies yasui, cheap. Maruyasu, the cheapest vegetables anywhere. I'm not sure if I were a high-end restaurant like next door, Kobe beef, I'm not sure if I would want the customers to know I was buying my vegetables from the cheapest supplier in town. But whatever, that's another story. So, come on, guys, roll on. Let's get out of there. Also, too, behind him, I mean across the street, the Italian restaurant Ciccio. It's closed. It's been closed for a month. It was operated by a lady who had hired 2 young people to do it for her, a young couple, and they have gone. I saw them just before I went to Canada, what's going on, and they said, no, we're out. We're going to open our own place. So I guess her position was the two young people who've been running it for her, they've just run off to open their own place, and at the moment it's dark and deserted. Coming in right, this is Mieta-san, one of our shop staff. Mieta-san, you're live. Okay, I got to get out of here. See you on set. You're live. Whatever. Sorry about that. So I hope you didn't do anything embarrassing. I don't think so. You took out your ear pods. Was that what it was?
That was it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll see you Saturday. Thanks very much. Signing off. 3, 2, 1. Bye for now.